Oh, hi there. You caught me casually lounging on my decked truck bed storage system, something I do all the time and certainly isn't staged for the purposes of this video. What's the decked truck bed storage system, I hear you ask? Well, boy golly, am I glad you did. Let me tell you all about it. Hi, this is Brad with Copper Creek Cuts, a lawn care company in Northeast Florida. And recently, Decked, the company that makes this, started the What's in Your Drawers hashtag. So I thought it would be a good time to show you what's in my drawers. See what they did there? It's pretty clever. And also give you a review. Full disclosure, I did receive this at no charge to myself, but I am allowed to say whatever I want to. I don't have very many bad things to say, but I will go ahead and get those right off the bat. So, when you open it up, obviously you've got your two drawers. On mid-size trucks, it depends on the model, of course, but on most of the mid-size trucks, you're gonna have a narrower drawer, and then I'd lock something in here. This is my fault. When you put something in here, if it pops up like it just did, you may not be able to pull it back out. That's nothing to do with the deck storage system. That's literally any drawer in the existence of humankind. Now you may ask yourself, Brad, how likely is it that you're really gonna get your drawer stuck on this deck system? Well, as it happens, I got it stuck trying to do this video. And I wish I could tell you that showing you the debris was the only reason I took that top panel off, but I had to find out what was jamming that drawer, and sure enough, my come along was preventing this from opening up. See, here's another example of something getting hung up, but since it's just fabric and cord, or a strap, it's not gonna be an issue. I can yank that out. But that's something you wanna be careful of. If you are a stickler for keeping things clean, you may not like how things get trapped underneath the deck storage system. All right, so you can see all this good stuff. Oh, hey, there's a receipt I've been looking for. That's for 2022, good. I pile debris in the back of my truck to unload at places. And while I do blow everything out, this isn't perfectly sealed all around the edges, right? So leaves and sticks and trash, as you can see, will get up underneath the deck storage system. For me, I don't really care about. This is a work truck. I'm never gonna see that. And what I am gonna do at the 1 year mark is go ahead and take this panel off too, go ahead and take the drawers out and pressure wash everything. So at least for me, it's not something I'm worried about. When everything's put together, these drawers are water resistant or weather resistant. They are not waterproof. So you do have a little wiper here that's gonna keep rain as it sheets off from coming back in the drawer. But if you take a pressure washer to your truck bed, there's no guarantee that water won't get in here. What I have had a problem with is dust getting in here. And that is, again, because I use this to haul debris, then I scrape the debris off, and then I'll blow the bed out. All that dust and dirt gets swirled around and gets in here. I say I have a problem with it, but it hasn't been a problem because nothing I keep in these drawers are dust sensitive. If you're gonna keep, thousands of dollars of hardware or guns or tools or anything you don't want getting dusty, just keep that in mind and don't take a leaf blower to the back of your truck bed to clean it out like I do. If you aren't doing that, normal weather conditions, I don't think you're gonna have any issue with the things that you have in here. Oh, and one last thing before we close everything up. The top of this can carry 2,000 pounds evenly loaded, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm never going to be able to stack anything on there again. Each of these drawers can carry 200 pounds. So again, you're going to have a lot of flexibility about what you can or can't haul with this system. Now here's another thing I know some people have an issue with Decked. There is going to be some space at the back that doesn't pull all the way out. If it did, the drawer would fall out every single time. This is really all drawers in general. This isn't a Decked problem. If that's an issue for you, I recommend using that space for a D-box. That way it isn't empty space that you can't get to. It's just something you have to slide forward. And that's what I do. I always store my 2 D-boxes in the back and middle and leave the front open for any other loose stuff I need. And you can see that space is almost enough to take up a whole D-box. So if that's an issue, spend a couple bucks for one of these, put something back there that you're not going to use very often, but you still need on your rig. Just the system itself for this Chevy Colorado, I want to say is about $1,100 or $1,200. I would pay that much money for this storage system because the alternative is spending at least half that in hardware and in lumber, and who knows how much more time and technique and skill and opportunity costs to make your own. So at least for me, making my own truck bed storage system was not an option. This video isn't to tell you go buy a deck, it's the best thing ever. It's here's my thoughts, here's my experiences. Hopefully they'll help you make a decision. But at least when you're looking at the argument of, oh, I'll just build my own, not for me. That was never an option. I don't have the skill, I don't have the time. Now another concern might be, you know, once you start adding in all these D boxes, that price is going to go even higher, which I won't lie, it is. But if you built your own drawers, you were going to fill them with something anyways, and these things are not exorbitantly priced. Now in the larger of my 2 deck drawers, I have 2 of the big D boxes, and then I leave the front for just odds and ends that I need, which mainly for me are huge trash bags for my commercial property. It's an HOA I maintain that has 4 trash cans on site. I've got this come along, which I use for recovery. Again, you got to be careful of storing real tall, long, stiff stuff like this in these deck drawers, because again, they can get jammed. Then I've got just one little length of irrigation pipe if I have an emergency repair. Got a few gloves that I don't really use, and this tool should not be here. Inside of these larger deck boxes, you can see here, I've got dividers across this way, so I have 3 sections. Little tiny pop-up heads, some bigger rotors, spray nozzles, gloves, all my fittings, my glue, and some wire caps, wire nuts that have grease in them. Now for the smaller drawer, you're gonna see a very similar setup. Loose stuff in the front and a couple of D boxes in the back. Again, that space is about the size of a D box, so if that's going to bother you, spend a couple bucks for a D box, put something back there that you don't need very often. Up front on this side is most of my recovery gear. That HOA I maintain, I've got a pond that I've stuck my mower in at least 3 times, so I've got all kind of rope and cable and ratchet straps. This works really well with the recovery gear because you can take this off and then slide the hoop end of these toe straps in, and then you can yank something out of the ground or again pull something if you need to. In these smaller D boxes, I'm going to have some hand tools, hand pruners, some of the tools that I'll use for equipment maintenance. You can see all my irrigation hand tools, hand pruner, some zip ties. I will say this is one thing that I don't like about these D boxes is the lid is so well made that unless there's a lot of weight on these things, they always tip. So for instance, if I'm using this D box to do irrigation repairs out of, it wants to go ahead and tip. Like let's just say you throw that lid open real quick, this top tray will actually spill out, and you know, it depends on what you have and how you use it. Part of that is because how tough this stuff is, the material it's made of, and how thick this plastic is, that this lid just has a lot more heft to it. So after all that, is this deck system going to be something that is for you? Well, that depends a lot on your circumstances that I have no clue about, right? If you're somebody who all you do is lawn mowing, this may not be a good value for you. But for me, I do irrigation repairs, and it was a complete pain in the rump to go to an irrigation repair job before the deck system, because I just had to take all my tools for irrigation repair, all my fittings, all my nozzles, all my sprinkler heads, and shove them in the front seat, cram them like, you know, it was a Tetris game to see how much I could fit in there before everything collapsed in on itself. And so having this has been a real game changer. That's why you see a lot of tradesmen with these. HVAC, plumbing, all those kind of things where you've got a lot of little pieces that you need to keep track of. Irrigation repair, it made a great deal of difference for me. Outside of work, there's any number of opportunities to use this in a hobby or entertainment setting. You know, lots of firearm enthusiasts need somewhere secure to store. So you can actually punch this out right here and put a lock on. If I'm worried about it, I just use the lock on the tailgate, but again, having 3 locks is going to be better than 1, so you can keep your things relatively safe. For me, I think it's a good purchase, but again, that's predicated on the fact that I've got that irrigation repair side of my business where I need toolboxes to keep things organized, to keep them handy without having space inside of the truck. This was definitely a longer video, but I didn't want to just do some glossed over deck. To go buy it. I really wanted you to hear the things that I liked about it, the things that might be problems for you. I figured that would be the most fair representation. If you do have any other questions about the system that I didn't cover, please leave them down below in the comments. I'll leave a link to DEK's website so you can go research it. It's not an affiliate link. Whether you buy it or not doesn't matter to me. I don't get paid for any of this. Like I said, the only thing I got, they gave me this at no charge. That was it. So I'm not getting paid for this opinion. I don't have to tell you it's good. I'm able to say whatever I want, which I really appreciate that they let me do that. So again, go down in the link in the description for more info there. If you'd like to see some more videos, including the installation video, you can view those somewhere on the screen. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.